Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining. I just see a lot of people coming in now, so I think we can kind of start as it's 11. My name is Alan Keogh. I'm the head of sales here for Jigsaw Cloud. Joining me today are my two co-pilots, Ride, who's our pre-sales consultant, and Ostia, who heads up sales and marketing for our SmartStart offering. So the topic of today's webinar is affordable HR transformation without compromise. We're here today because HR challenges facing organizations have changed dramatically. HR teams are under pressure to do more with less, drive engagement, attract talent, and prove strategic value, but often with manual processes, spreadsheets, and disconnected systems. It's not about effort, it's about enablement. So that's why SAP SuccessFactors is now so relevant for the mid-market. It brings enterprise-grade HR capability, the same tools used by the world's leading organizations, but in a way that's affordable, scalable, and fast to deploy for growing businesses. Feel free to ask questions throughout the session. Just write them in the chat and we will address them either as they happen or at the end. We have a bit of an agenda today, so I'm going to talk about Jigsaw Cloud and who we are, HR challenges in the mid-market, why most HR teams in the growing markets think Tier 1 HR is out of reach, SAP SuccessFactors up close, a demo with our pre-sales Ride on SuccessFactors. We'll talk about SmartStart, which is our pre-configured HR solution, and a case study of one of our customers, Cleanova. And then we'll leave a Q&A at the end. So just a quick introduction to who Jigsaw Cloud is. We're an SAP Gold partner with over 25 years of HR transformation experience. We're UK based. We know the challenges of this market, and we've built our approach specifically for mid-sized companies who want enterprise credibility without enterprise complexity. We are an SAP SuccessFactors Gold partner in the UK and Ireland. So what does that mean? We have the ability to sell, implement, and support SAP SuccessFactors, and that's SAP's flagship HR offering. So what defines us as a partner? We have the absolute focus on mid-market, the mid-market. We've obviously customers from 100 headcount all the way up to 17,000 plus. But so for 25 years, we've been specializing in providing fit for purpose Tier 1 HR solutions. And on top of that, we provide consultancy, implementation, and support. A little bit about support, as I know we have some current SuccessFactors users on the call today. Jigsaw Cloud offers ready when you are support, ensuring that your SuccessFactors platform always operates smoothly. So you might also see the Raven Intel reviews on the side there. So in Las Vegas last month at Success Connect, Jigsaw Cloud was proud to be recognized by Raven Intel for outstanding voice of the customer feedback. Raven captures real-world ratings from our clients on their SuccessFactors implementation and support, highlighting our consistent customer satisfaction across system expertise and quality of consultants and responsiveness. This recognition reinforces our commitment to elevating every client experience and driving successful outcomes for HR projects of all sizes. By the way, all our consultants are HR first, meaning they all have come from a HR background, and so they know real-world frustrations and processes. So let's talk about the reality many HR teams face today. Most mid-sized organizations still rely heavily on spreadsheets or multiple disconnected systems. This creates inefficiency, errors, and the ability to get a single view of your people. You can't easily report on turnover, pay gaps, or skill data. So when you're in front of the board, credibility takes a hit because the data isn't there to back up the story. Then there's scalability. Maybe you've grown too quickly, added regions or business units, and your HR processes haven't kept pace. There's manual onboarding, outdated reviews, no structured learning. All of this slows down progress and impacts culture. At Jigsaw Cloud, we see these challenges every day, and they're exactly what SuccessFactors solves. It automates, standardizes, and elevates HR so you can move from admin to strategy. Now, to get a sense of where everyone's at, let's take a quick poll. What would be your biggest HR challenge today? I can see that data inaccuracy is a big one. We'll keep it on the screen for a few seconds. Oh wow, it's an even field for sure. So too many tools, poor integration. Yeah, we can address some of that stuff for sure, and hopefully I'll touch on it. I think we can end it there, Ostia. and we can, okay, is the result shown? Okay, awesome. Awesome, yep. So there's a common perception we hear all the time. SuccessFactors is enterprise level, it's too expensive, too big, it's not designed for us. That might have been true in the past, but the game has changed. SAP has made SuccessFactors completely modular and scalable, so mid-market organizations can start small and grow at their own pace. For example, you might begin with core HR to centralize employee data, then add performance and goals or learning when you're ready. So the best thing about it is you only pay for what you use. At Jigsaw Cloud, we've taken things further with our SmartStart solution. That's a pre-configured using SAP's best practice tailored for the UK and Ireland market and delivered quickly, often in weeks, not months. So you get this world-class functionality at a fraction of the traditional cost and implementation time. We'll look at SmartStart later in this presentation. So it isn't just about cutting corners, it's about removing barriers. So you can get the access to the same HR platform used by companies like Microsoft or Sephora, but implemented by a partner who's built to fit for scale and your budget and obviously your future as well. A little bit about, let's look at SuccessFactors. So SuccessFactors is used by over 248 million users worldwide, 13,000 organizations in more than 200 countries and territories in the world. So it's the market leader for HR tech in terms of numbers globally. It's regarded as the best tier one. There's only one other tier one that can walk the same walk. That would be Workday. So what makes a tier one platform when I say that? It's the functionality, it's the flexibility, it's security, it's the quality of service, it's future-proof, the maintenance, development, and more. And you get all this grandness, and we'll give it you at a very competitive price point. And that price point is not too different from the tier twos of this world. So if I was to make you visualize what a tier two solution looks like Sage, HiBob, Bamboo, etc., they would what our customers would call HR on rails. You're fine if you want to live with what they give you, but if you want to veer off and add a new business unit, merge HR departments with a company you bought, etc., you're stuck with what you got you. With those solutions, you're building your business around the technology. But whereas with SAP, you're building the technology around your business. And that's where the flexibility comes in. So SAP SuccessFactors offers an exciting roadmap, showcasing continuous innovation and enhancements with upcoming features like advanced analytics, AI-driven insights, and enhanced user experiences to ensure your investment grows as your business, HR needs grow as well. $4.8 billion is spent each year from SAP in developing our solution. Most of that development has come from the feedback and requests from the 248 million users, right down to features like the homepage, the layout, and how it feels. Last year, AI was introduced where Jules, or AI Copilot, was developed by IBM using 50 years of business intel and processes from SAP. And so to conclude, AI is the future with SuccessFactors. It's going to be spread across all parts of HR, including payroll this year. Let's look at this HR, let's look at the SAP suite, shall we? So it's end-to-end, hire to retire, and everything is covered. So when you look at SuccessFactors, it's developed with pre-hire all the way to retire and everything in the middle. An organization requires to welcome, nurture, develop, and celebrate its employees, no matter what role they have. So when we sit to understand businesses to discover where they are currently, and this has come up on the questions we asked earlier on. So commonly they're sitting with no integration to finance, using loads of different HR systems that don't communicate with each other. Manual processes are everywhere. Spreadsheets are still being used for everyday tasks. Admin heavy tasks are carried out with human error. There's duplicating data in the system by different departments. There's no automation anywhere, little to no learning, development, performance, and so forth. And most importantly, no employee experience. So with SAP SuccessFactors, you don't need to go outside our solution. Everything is covered within. But if you have a third-party solution that you want to keep, of course, you can plug that right in. So let's look at SuccessFactors up close. So here's what really brings SuccessFactors to life. It's the full suite of modules, each designed to solve a specific HR challenge. You don't need to take everything at once. You can start where the most value is for your business. Core HR gives you that single source of truth for your people data. Recruitment helps you attract the right talent faster. Performance and goals drives alignment and accountability. And learning supports growth and compliance. And obviously compensation ensures fairness and transparency. Each module connects seamlessly. As your needs evolve, your system evolves with you. And that's the real power of SuccessFactors. Of course, you can use the full suite or the modules you have on the go through our mobile app as well. And the last note before I send it over to Ride to show SuccessFactors. SuccessFactors is not a tactical investment, it's a strategic investment. You don't purchase it as a quick fix, you acquire it because you want to lay down a robust HR infrastructure. And I will pass it over to Ride.
Thank you, Alan. Hopefully you're able to see my presentation.
Yep.
Can you hear me, Alan? Yeah, very good. Thank you very much. And good morning, all. Thank you very much for joining me and welcome to Performance and Goals. So around this time of year, we often hear from customers preparing for their performance reviews. Many are ready to move on from their current systems, whether that be replacing outdated disparate tools, transitioning away from paper-based processes, or implementing performance management systems for the first time. So that's why we thought it was perfect time to focus this webinar on performance management, talk about how SAP is redefining what that means and how companies are rethinking their approaches. So I'll spend a few minutes expanding on this topic, and then I'll walk us through the solutions demonstration, highlighting some of the key features that can help organizations enhance engagement, simplify reviews, and even drive more meaningful performance conversations. So at the heart of all of this, it's really about empowering employees, individual contributors as well as managers alike, to do their best work. So let's make this a little bit interactive. You'll see a poll just pop up on your screen shortly. I'd love to get your thoughts on it, and I'll circle back in a moment. When we talk about performance management, it's not synonymous with performance reviews. Performance management starts when someone walks into the workplace. It's here to help top performers succeed. It's also available for underperformers to improve. This also could be for new hires, 360 check-ins, 360 feedback, or just regular routine feedback throughout the course of their employment. It could be for documenting poor performance and having those difficult conversations. It could be for performance reviews and some of those cyclical routines. But when it's done well, has my presentation gone, Anna? Oh, it's back. Okay. And when it's done well, the performance management gives you insights from multiple perspectives. So let's take a look at how everyone answered the poll. I'll just count down from 5 just to give those who didn't have their fingers on the buzzers, I'll give you guys a chance. So I'll count down from 5 and then we'll take it from there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's have a look at how everyone has answered this. Just bear with me a second. Pause.
Yeah, it looks like recognition and appreciation leads the charge, right?
Right. Well, that's quite interesting, Alan. Research has also research has shown actually what was the percentage, Alan, again? Sorry, was that close?
50%.
50%. Recognition and appreciation. Okay. Interesting. So research has always shown actually a clear sense of purpose is the most powerful motivator. So well done to those who got that right. So it just shows that when people understand why their work matters, they stay engaged, even when recognition and rewards fluctuates. In fact, Teresa Amabeli, a professor from Harvard Business School, did research and talked to 600 managers. Shockingly, 95% of them got the answer wrong. Most of them answered money. So when it comes to aligning people and to drive better performance, employee engagement is key. And what we can see from this employee hierarchy here is that when it comes to psychological and relational needs, people become more engaged, right? And when purpose and inspirational needs are met, people become more inspired. And you can address these needs at different levels simultaneously. And by doing so, organizations can see direct link between engagement and performance. Research by Bain and company indicates that inspired employees are more are 2 times more productive as a certified employee and 50% more productive than an engaged employee. So when we look at redefining and rethinking performance management, it's critical to look at what employees' expectations are, what might be successful for your organization, and how we can move forward to really define what that means. So what is preventing our organization from being successful at engaging and inspiring employees? For some, performance management is rigid, and they're often treated as annual events filled with forms. And when you think about that event, it's very much a rear view approach, right? When you often disconnect feedback from the day-to-day performance, especially when you call it review. Managing goals is seen as a chore, unstructured, and meetings feel more like compliance than growth. And despite managing, despite the best intentions, evaluations rely heavily on individual opinions, biases, or personal perceptions rather than clear and manageable criteria. This can lead to inconsistent ratings and lack trust in the process. So when we look at defining modern performance, it involves including others into the process, using continuous performance tools to gather feedback from managers and colleagues, shortening review cycles to quarterly or biannually rather than having one long annual review, tracking from completion and goal progression throughout the year, supporting ongoing discussions, which is very important, where employees review, update, and adjust goals to meet business priorities as they evolve. Ensuring that end of year reviews draw from actual real-time updates, not scattered notes, emails, and memory, which often fails us. And high performance management becomes part of everyday operation, not just some ad hoc activity that we need to do for compliance. So how can this be achieved within SuccessFactors performance and goals? Pretty much everything I've spoken about regarding modern performance can be done within SuccessFactors. So we'll share my screen with you, and here we go. Hopefully you're able to see my screen.
Yep, all good, right?
Oh, very good. Okay. So I know some of our attendees are already using SuccessFactors, but for those who are not familiar with it, this is the start page. And when you log into the application, it recognizes who you are. If you're an individual contributor, manager, HR, admin, and this is all based on your role-based permissions. You can access different parts of the application, and these are the quick links that will lead you to those parts of the application. And depending on your role, you might not see certain things. So as a manager, I can see my team here, for example, but if I was an individual contributor, I would not see this tile. You will also see these updates, organizational updates, and also any activities that require your attention. So I'm logged in here as James. James is an individual contributor as well as a manager. So from an individual contributor's perspective, he has some tasks that are personal to him. So he has to do his evaluation and employee assessment. But from a manager's perspective, he's got 2 tasks here that he needs to address for his direct reportees. So that's kind of a very short introduction to this homepage of SuccessFactors. Let's jump into goals and start looking at how we can make this modern performance management. What we can see here is the dashboard for the goals, and here employees and managers can set clear goals, track progress, and have these ongoing performance discussions to drive growth and results. We can navigate between different goal plans through this chevron here, and often organizations use this for different purposes, such as business goals, short-term goals, and usually HR would set this up either at the beginning of the year or whenever you decide to have the goal forms presented to your employees. Users can Users can be assigned to all of them, but typically only one of them would be assigned and linked to the performance form. And visibility really depends on your role-based permissions. You can create goals, and the system offers you a library with a big choice of goals to choose from. And you can also create cascading goals and team goals. And this promotes visibility of the business goals up and down across the organization. And when we look down here, we can see some of these goals that have been assigned to James. Now, these goals can be goals that are individual or individual to James. They could have been cascaded down to James from his manager, and there could be also team goals as well, where people, a multiple number of employees contribute to the same goal. You can also see that there are some actions here that James can take, and this all comes down. The visibility for this comes down to the performance of on the role-based permissions that are based on James's profile. On the left-hand side, what we can see is James's direct reports, and James can actually click on these, and he can get an overview on each of his team members and see what they're doing. He can also perform similar tasks like deleting the goals, creating goals, editing them, creating goals, and he can also cascade goals from his direct employees up to his own profile. So when we look at goals, how can we create them? There are 4 options. You can create goals using AI assistance, and this allows employees to create goals more easily. Unfortunately, within this demo instance, we don't have that to demo, but we'll be very happy to get in touch and show you all the AI features that come with SuccessFactors. You can create goals from the library, as I mentioned. We have a wide range of predefined goals. There's about 14,000 skill-based and competency-based goals and 500 SMART goals. You can also create goals from any previous goals that you've created. So if you wish to kind of use one of the existing goals and then utilize that, and you'll have the opportunity then to edit that goal and make it personable to you. So and then you just copy it, and that will create an instance of it on your dashboard. And then you can also create it from a blank template. This form, and it doesn't matter whether you're using creating goals from AI or a blank form, or whether it be the cascading goal or the team goal. If you're in that goal plan, all of these type of creations will drive you to the same form, and this form is configurable. It can be configured to how your organization would like it to perform. So this is, like I said, this is a based on a SMART framework. So you can apply the specificity of it by applying the goal name. You have the ability to add the measure and how success will be measured, basically. And then you also have, you'll notice that there's a character limit on these, and this encourages clarity and focus, making sure that the goal is achievable and not some sort of pie in the sky idea that may be shared around the organization. You can also have, there can be date defined, so these would be time bound, structured. And I said this is all configurable. In this particular form, there's milestones and weighting, but you don't actually have to have those. And then you can address the statuses and the progress of this by editing the goal. So as we are talking about editing goals, let's have a look at one that's been created. So this is a goal that's been created, and from here I'm able to change the setting of the goal, and whether it's completed, behind, and all the different statuses. And you've got control. We can actually reconfigure these to suit your needs. You can add milestones and see how you're progressing within the goal. You can also leave comments. So these are comments that you might want to leave for yourself or leave for your manager to view. And then on the right hand side, you'll see an overview of the goal itself, when it's supposed to start and end, and if there's any rating on it. and the description. So this is kind of, you can manage the goal from here, but if you wanted to actually edit the goal, you can go and edit the goal, and you're familiar now with the screen after I've shown you how you can create it. So this is how it would look like. And with AI features, you can have a AI assisted writing. So with AI assisted writing, you'll be able to change the tone, make it longer, shorter, and there's several options that are available for you through the AI. But we can see here, so this is a progression. So I can update the progression from of this from here and save that. And I can see now this is now 50%. So this is typical of any type of goal, like I mentioned, whether it's cascaded or a team goal. This particular goal is actually actually, before I go on, you can also create activities. So with activities, they're kind of mini deliverables that contribute to achieving this goal. And they also provide visibility on what you're working on to your manager. And we'll look at activities shortly as well in more detail. But within activities, you'll put in the name. You'll again, they work on statuses, and they can be linked to the goal. And automatically, by creating this, the goal is linked to this particular activity. So so if we're looking at this from an individual goal, sometimes we might not want to live in this vacuum, right? We might want to align goals with others. So with cascading goals, it allows you to align goals to a higher level organization and down to departments, teams, or individuals. This can also be relevant. This has to also obviously be relevant to the employee while ensuring that it aligns to overall goal. And like I said, there's no differential as far as the form and the functionality works. But what we can see here at the bottom is how this goal has been aligned. It's been aligned up to Jeff here, who is James's manager, and then it's also been aligned down to Elaine here, who is a direct report of James. And then what we can also see if we select the unaligned goal is how this goal is kind of manifested from being created as a contributing to positive goal, contributing to positive team environment, which was shared by Jeff. And then it trickled down to James, who is a direct reportee of Jeff. And that became fostering teamwork and engagement within an assembly team. But then when we look at it from Elaine, this has kind of changed to actively support positive collaboration. So we can see how these goals are personable and relational to the individual that they're assigned to. So if I go back to goals, so we've spoken about cascading goals, but I just want to show you quickly how easily that it would be to create a cascading goal. So this is, now we took in the fostering team and engagement, so I can just take that and then I can assign that to my team. I can then edit the goals to make it personable and relevant to the team members that I've assigned it to. I can go in and change the content of it and then cascade it. It is as simple as that. And managing goals is also just as simple. Sorry, not managing goals. Sorry, go back to dashboard. Managing team goals, it is just the same. With the just slight differences. One, you can actually share ownership, so more than one person can have administration rights to this goal, and this allows us to have joint responsibility to maintaining these goals. And the participant then would be involved in collaboration steps and reviews. But we can also see when we click on the goal, we're no longer seeing the options for milestones and activities and putting comments in. What we can see from the manager's perspective, who's assigned to these goals. And then from here, I can actually just drill down and then see that view that we're familiar with now, which is to create the milestones and activities and so forth. So you can see how powerful this can be when you're having your team contribute to the same objective, to the same goal, and you're able to measure that collectively or proportionally. So now that we have looked at goals and editing goals, creating them, possibility with using AI and the various ways of doing it, what we're going to look at is the continuous performance. So I mentioned activities earlier as part of goal creation. Activities do not have to be linked to goals. Excuse me. They don't have to be linked to goals. And activities are short-term tasks, actions, or deliverables that can roll up to that bigger goal. And employees can instantly record their efforts and provide, and this kind of provides this visibility to their manager as well. So you can see here the way this is set up. Again, this is configurable the way it works. And again, this is going back to what Alan was saying earlier. SuccessFactors solution does not make your business fit on the way it works. The solution itself can be configured to how your business works. And this is why it's so important, from a tier 1 perspective, is that you have that capability to make this a solution. It's not a technical tool, it becomes a solution for you. So when we're looking at this, you have these options here where you can change the statuses, you can move these activities around, and if you're seeking help, then you can click on that, and then you can put some information here, so then your manager, when he's looking at this activity, he can see that can help. What you can also do is request feedback, right? So, and because I'm requesting feedback, the system automatically knows that if I'm requesting feedback, it would be from my requesting feedback from my manager or my peers as well. So automatically it gives me those as suggested people. However, I can also just, if I know somebody within an organization that might be able to help with this, I can assign that to them, put in the feedback topic, make changes to the questions as well. So these are default questions that you can change, and then send that off. This then will appear on the home page that I showed you, the start page. And then Anya, if that was sent to Anya will receive that notification by email as well. And you have that automation, right? It's there already for you, and people get notified. You don't need to chase anybody up. And then also on that same homepage, when something becomes overdue, it will automatically be shown as that. So, the system is very intelligent in that aspect. When we are happy that we've completed the goal, then we move it to the completion. Now, we have an option. We can just set it as complete and we're done with it. But also with completing activities, they can be converted to an achievement, and that's it indicates that it's not noteworthy, something that's quite significant. And then this can be then integrated into your performance forms, and it automatically kind of emphasize this continuous performance concept, right? It's something that you've achieved and you want to kind of shout out about it. So then if I select this, automatically I'll get this badge, and I can see that, and then I can also see anything that I've achieved in the past, and there's a summary for that, and I can also filter it by goals or just seeing the achievements as a whole. I can also create an achievement, which is basically creating an activity just so you create any activity, but automatically this will be defined as an achievement because you're creating it as one. And then you can also obviously connect it to any goals that you have. One of my favorite features that's available within this is the one-to-one meeting. So you can create one-to-one meetings with your manager, and this feature it provides this shared workspace, right, for having these conversations. These are your checkpoints. So I spoke earlier about the modern way of performance management, right? We need to have this ongoing conversation. We don't want to be leaving things for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 5 months, right? We want to be having these ongoing conversations, these checkpoints, and it's very important to have these. And within this tool here, or at least within this interface, you can talk about the activities that you're working on, what's been completed. You can kind of celebrate that. You can also, anything that you needed help on, that will appear here. But not just that. You can also have discussion topics. So a lot of managers like to kind of see, what's happening with this individual. Just this light conversation. We like to just to see how people are doing, just make sure that they're comfortable within their role. So you can also have those conversations. And anything that you get from this conversation, you can also document that. And because I'm logged in as James, anything that I put here will be only viewable to me. Nobody else will see it, not my manager, nobody. So this information is here. And then I can also see any past meetings that I've had. And any notes that I've put in within in the last round. So this is quite powerful. And this, in the same view, the manager, when you're having these one-to-ones, the manager will have this exact same view with the same meeting notes, but he will be able, or she will be able to add their notes to this. Now, when we're looking at this, it's important for us to document this, right? It's and if you're not documenting these by means of goals, activities, these one-to-ones or these achievements, you have nothing to measure against. You have nothing to talk about. It's like that HR cliche: if it's not documented, it's not happened, right? So employees might think that they're doing the amazing job, and they might be totally misaligned with what the expectations are. So, as I mentioned earlier, this is not when we're neglecting to do this. This is not just a reflection on the individual not doing their job properly, but it's also on the manager, right? If your whole team is not performing, then we might be wanting to look upwards. Why is it that's not happening? So this also reflects on the manager as well. So the contribution from both teams, the relationship that a manager has with the employee, it needs to be strong and is very important. So good performance management leads to good culture, and this leads to retention. Let's not forget, if employees are not happy, they end up leaving, and this is quite expensive. So by having these tools, we can keep our employees engaged, we can keep them inspired, and we can make sure that they achieve the goals, and the business then prospers as a result of it. So we've kind of covered the activities, the one-to-ones here that are very important, and how these activities can also manifest to achievements. And also, obviously, the very important feedback. And then, as we're on the subject of feedback, there's also a section here for continuous feedback. So I mentioned you can request feedback, but you can also give feedback. So if you worked with a colleague, you can provide your own feedback. If you worked on a project and you want to give some positive feedback or even negative feedback, well, not negative, but constructive feedback, right? Then you can go ahead and use this facility here. And you can see, because I'm giving feedback in this round, what I am actually seeing is only my peers. I'm not seeing my manager here. So you can see how by clicking these two buttons, I'm seeing different suggested people. Now you can obviously then request, if I don't want to speak to any of these, there's an option to look at other colleagues that I might be working with. And the one thing I just want to mention again, from the AI perspective, you can request and send feedback via Jules, the AI Copilot, and it's also SAP have got a Teams app. So with integration with Teams, and when I say integration, it is very light integration. You can use the Teams app to request and send feedback and perform a lot more activities using Teams without even logging into SuccessFactors. And it carries the same permissions, the same role-based permissions that you set. It will carry those within Teams. So, which is quite good if you're working in that channel and you don't want to kind of be moving out and in and out of it, is very useful for that. So we've kind of covered all the aspects that we would need to do as we're going through our day-to-day jobs and doing this in real time, right? So all of this now then comes into the performance review. And when we're looking at the performance review, we're no longer now looking at where are our notes, what conversations have we had, trying to memorize what was said a week ago You know, I'll be lucky to remember what I did yesterday. So, you know, it's very hard for us to kind of do that. But now that we have this system, this tool available for us, performance reviews now are just a walk in the park. So when we're looking at performance reviews, when I come to look at this, the goal that I've been working on for the last week, month, year, it's all documented. It's all available here for me to see. I can see the statuses. I can see any conversations I've had, any activities, if there are achievements. So all this information, all this rich information is there for me to just run with. And then it's just a matter of me rating myself and feel, you know, I've got this summary now of what I've done, and then I can just rate myself. So when we look at performance reviews, again, this is very configurable. You have a route map, and then in this route map, you can see the self-assessment, the manager assessment, and then after the manager assesses it, this performance form, and we can see that in this case, Anya has filled in her rating, and the manager has filled their rating in. The next step now is the rating discussion. So you can see down here, that would be the option that will go next. If the manager is not happy with anything, they can also send it back to the employee to review.
That's right. On that one, I think due to time, I think we're going to move to show a bit about SmartStart.
Superb. Thank you, Alan. Thank you all for your time as well.
Excellent. So thanks, Ray, for walking us through an overview of performance and goals. Remember, we will arrange our one-on-ones with all of you after this call so we can tailor a demo of SuccessFactors to suit your needs. So I'd like to introduce you to Ostia, who will walk us through Jigsaw Cloud SmartStart.
Hi everyone, my name is Ostia and I look after sales and marketing for SmartStart. So for a long time, enterprise HR solutions were only really built with large organizations in mind. Growing businesses were often left behind and they were either priced out or stuck with tools that didn't scale as they grew. Implementations became complex, costly, and just not realistic for this segment. So many mid-market companies ended up managing HR manually or using disconnected systems, which limited visibility and efficiency. That's exactly the gaps Jigsaw Cloud and SAP SuccessFactors SmartStart were designed to fill, giving growing organizations access to the same world-class HR technology, but in a way that's simple, fast to implement, and affordable. We now have a short trailer for you just to look at an introduction to SmartStart from Jigsaw Cloud. Disconnected systems, endless admin, errors that slow you down. HR should empower people, not hold them back. Imagine if it just worked. Fast, reliable, secure. That's SmartStart by Jigsaw Cloud. Modern HR, powered by SAP SuccessFactors. Go live in weeks or even days. Flat annual fee. Bank-grade security, fully compliant and built to scale, trusted by growing organisations across the UK and Ireland to transform HR without breaking budgets. From admin to strategy, from frustration to flow, SmartStart turns HR chaos into clarity, so your team can lead, not chase spreadsheets. SmartStart, the HR upgrade you thought you couldn't afford. Discover more at jigsawcloud.com. So hopefully we enjoyed that little video. So here we have introduced SmartStart and it really changes the game for growing organizations. SmartStart is basically the shortcut to a modern HR system without the long, painful project. It's built for growing organizations that have outgrown spreadsheets or smaller tools, but don't want the cost and complexity of a full enterprise rollout. Because it's pre-configured for UK and Ireland, it can have you up and running in just a few weeks. It includes everything that you need, such as core HR, recruitment, and performance, all working together from day one. It's secure, compliant, and powered by SAP SuccessFactors, so you can trust it to scale your business as it grows. And the best part of it is that you're not left alone after your go live. You've got ongoing support from Jigsaw Cloud team who genuinely understand HR in growing organizations. So we now have a really quick poll again, just to get an idea of how feasible SuccessFactors would be for your organization. And then I will pass it back to Alan.
Possible, feasible, still think tier 1 would be too expensive. Okay, I think I'm going to break that myth on our next slide. So let's wrap that poll up, Ostia, and I can kind of give a bit of a case study on it. So the proof is in the pudding, obviously. I want to talk about one of our customers, Cleanova. They're in the oil and gas industry. They're a small company with a big vision. Now they're a big company with a solid HR foundation. So when Cleanova separated from its parent company, they suddenly needed their own HR system. They needed it fast. With around 400 employees and limited internal resources, speed and affordability were top priorities. So working with Jigsaw Cloud, they went live with SuccessFactors in just 8 weeks. The total cost of ownership came to under £100 per employee per year. That's less than a price of a coffee per person each week. But this wasn't just a quick fix. The system became the foundation for growth. When Cleanova then later tripled in size through a merger, they supported nearly 1,400 employees. Their HR platform scaled seamlessly. The HR team gained confidence, compliance, and visibility across the business, showing that transformation doesn't have to be slow or costly. The key takeaway here is HR transformation isn't about size, it's about ambition. So Cleanova proved that even a mid-sized organization can achieve enterprise-grade HR quickly and affordable. So just a recap on today, let's SuccessFactors, you can start with what matters most to you. So that could be HR, learning, recruitment, payroll, analytics, etc., and expand as your business grows. You're getting true enterprise level capability. It's the same platform global users use, but designed with and priced for the mid-market. Or pre-configured solution SmartStart means that you can go live in weeks, not months. So with best practices, processes ready out of the box. So I think we can do a small little Q&A. I know we're kind of running out of time briefly, but I might, if one or two come up, we can address them. And if not, it's okay. We're kind of at that time anyway.
Alan, we've got a quick question.
Okay.
How quickly do businesses typically start seeing measurable impact, like reducing admin time or improving report accuracy?
Yeah, that's a good question. So with SuccessFactors, organizations can see measurable impacts and results within days. Because the platform centralizes all its employee data, HR teams immediately cut down on manual admin, like things like updating records, chasing approvals, or reconciling spreadsheets. Reporting accuracy also improves almost overnight. So the real-time dashboards mean that HR and leadership can see up-to-date headcount, turnover, etc., etc. So, like, straight away would be the answer to that. All of our customers have no manual workarounds whatsoever, so that should give people peace of mind. Hope that answers that.
Brilliant, thanks, Alan. We do have a couple more, but I think we've run out of time, so we will feedback to those individuals directly. Over to you, Alan.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so last thing to say, next steps, we'll share the webinar presentation and key resources with yourselves. We'll send insights from the poll and show you how SuccessFactors can solve those challenges. And we'll invite you guys to a scheduled tailored session to explore your specific HR challenges. And last thing to say from us at Jigsaw, thank you very much for attending and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much. Bye, everyone.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.